Hi everyone, today I just wanted to share with you another product that I've been very kindly gifted by Hope Education, so I'm very excited to be working with them again. So the product that I'm talking about is this product here. So it's called Number Fling, or I think it's called Number Frisbees on their website, and basically it's a set of different frisbees for each different number from the numbers 1 to 20. So I'm going to show you one a little bit more up close just now. So this is one of the frisbees that's been kind of packed away. So each frisbee is all packed away in its little pocket. So as I said, it covers numbers from 1 to 20. So for each number you get a frisbee and a little pocket, and then all the frisbees go in that red bag that I just showed you earlier. So I'm just going to pull it out just now, and this is one of the funnest things I liked about this product, is it kind of pops out like that, so you can imagine your kids are going to totally love that when they're using these. So as I said, for each number you get a frisbee. Now they're actually quite big, and they're made of like a kind of thin kind of fabric, so very lightweight, really easy to use like in the classroom or outside or at home. Great for obviously using in your garden and things. And what I loved about each frisbee is that it has the number at the top, it's got the word written underneath, and then it actually shows you the number in an array as well, so that children could actually visualise what that number looked like. So these number frisbees can be used for number recognition as well. So a really simple activity to do with these would be to lay out a selection of number frisbees, and obviously you can differentiate that depending on the level of your child's learning. So you could either focus on even just numbers up to 5, numbers up to 10, or go all the way up to numbers up to 20. Lay out a selection of numbers and then just ask your child to identify, to pick up the correct number. So you could say, can you find me the number 12? And obviously they would search for the correct number. So it's just a simple little activity, but again, because it's got number at the top, the word, and then the array at the bottom, it really helps them understand what, you know, the number that you're asking for actually looks like. So another type of activity you could use these number frisbees for would be some counting activities. So here I've got one of the frisbees with the number 6 at the top, and then I've also got some pasta. So you can use any other types of loose parts. So this activity can be done at home with things you can find at home, like pasta, maybe little stones from the garden, shells, or at school, and you could use things, I suppose, like number cubes, or you could even use loose parts at school as well. And all your child would do would be to look at the number at the top and then count out the correct number of loose parts onto your frisbee. So you could either lay the objects at the side of the frisbee, or you could even use the dots at the bottom to help with one-to-one correspondence when you're counting. So all you would do would be to count out the correct number of loose parts, and as I said, you could place them on top of the dots to help with making sure it's the right number, or you could even lay them up the side. So learning as well about odd and even numbers would be another activity you could easily use these number frisbees for. So I noticed that all of the even numbers were all red, and then all of the odd numbers were all blue. So children can obviously use this to help them learn about odd and even, and they could basically just do a simple sorting activity where they sort all their even numbers into a pile, all the red ones into a pile, and then all their odd numbers into a pile. And then as well, you could even be encouraging them to be looking at the arrays at the bottom to be figuring out the differences and how they look between the even numbers and the odd numbers. Activities looking at developing sequencing skills could be another thing that you could be using these number frisbees for. So again, you could lay out a selection of number frisbees. You could even lay out all the numbers up to 20, and then you'd be asking your children to put them in the correct order. So obviously you'd be starting off with number 1, then number 2, number 3, and then number 4. And then again, you could be encouraging them to look at the differences in the arrays, how it obviously builds to one more each time you go up a number. And if you can always ask them to be looking at the pattern as well of blue, red, and encouraging them to think about odd and even numbers as well. So even just simply putting the numbers away in their correct pocket could be used to develop number matching skills. So again, you could just be asking your children, it could be done at the end of an activity or even as part of the main activity itself, is you just ask them to obviously find a frisbee and then find the matching pocket to go with that. So then you would just find the pocket, put it in, and then that's developing children's matching skills as well. So another activity that you could be using these number frisbees for could be obviously working on number bonds. So again, you could lay out a selection of numbers depending on the level of your child's learning, and then you could just be asking them, find me 2 numbers that make 6, for example. So then your child would then go and find 2 of the number frisbees that would then add together to make the number 6. And what's fantastic about these frisbees is, as I said, because they've got the arrays at the bottom, they can actually count to check their answer. So these number frisbees are so adaptable, so you can use them both inside, just like what I've been showing you just now, for simple count-in, sequencing activities, number bond activities, but obviously they can also be used outside as well because they are frisbees. So a lot of these activities can be adapted to be played out in your garden, so you could easily do, for example, an identifying activity where you lay out all your frisbees out on the ground, and then you could say, for example, can you throw me the number 1? So then your child would then go and find the frisbee you've asked for, and then they could throw it. And then you could easily do number bond activities as well. So you could say, can you find me 2 numbers, for example, that make the number 5? So then your child would then go and find those 2 numbers and then would throw you those as well.